Hello, my name is Austin Little, and I'm a University of Illinois horticulture educator. And today we're out here on this beautiful fall day at the Wren Lake Pollinator Garden in Franklin County, Illinois. And today what we're going to be talking about is a quick demonstration on how to collect seed. So how to collect seed from mostly native or prairie type plants this time of year. This is a pollinator prairie garden, and it is primarily native plants, forbs, and perennial plants that we might want to collect seed for each year in the fall, when most of these species mature and start to disperse seed. So there's a few reasons that we may want to collect seed from these kind of native pollinator species. So one of them is that we may want to use this extra seed to develop more pollinator friendly landscaping. So we may want to use these and plant them in different areas to increase our pollinator plant space. We also might want to reduce some of the seed load that these plants create. So today we're going to be looking at bee balm, and the scientific name is this one is Monarda fistulosa, but there's also Monarda didyma. Those are two really common species of bee balm. And this is a really great pollinator species. Bees really love it. It's got the name in there with the bees. And so this is actually one that matures a little bit earlier, and the seeds are getting dry and ready to collect. Now they do produce a profuse amount of seed, so they can tend to take over areas, wide swaths of space in our garden. So maybe we want to reduce that seed amount by maybe 50%. So that's another good reason that we may want to collect seed. So it's a little bit early this morning. There's still a little bit of dew on the plants and on the vegetation. So one thing we want to usually try to do is wait till it gets a little bit drier. And here today it'll dry up here pretty soon. So in that case, when we collect the seed, we want to make sure that we let it dry out. So after we collect these today, we might want to let them dry out on a piece of dry newspaper for a couple days up to a week before we put them into storage. As far as actually collecting, this is a neat little way to collect here. We can use a milk jug that we kind of cut out, and so we can store our seed in there, or we can use a bucket if it's something like false indigo, where we can take the dry pods and we can shake them in there and collect them that way. But for storage, we want to use something that's breathable. So we want to probably avoid plastic, which won't really allow for evaporation, and it can cause some fungal things like that we don't really want. So we need a container to collect our seed, and then preferably scissors or some nice pruning shears here. And so with the Monarda here, the bee balm, these are the seed heads that we want to collect here, and they're fairly dry. They may need to be dried out a little bit after we collect them, but these actually you can almost just pop off with your hand. Now if you want to just be quick about it and collect the seed head that way, that's fine too, but you can just kind of come along and pop them off. Now one other note here to keep in mind is when we're collecting from a big patch or a big massing of a certain species, we want to collect for biodiversity ideally. Or you may like one particular spot that has some sort of quality, maybe its height, vigor, color, things like that. But if we're collecting for biodiversity, we want to just take randomly. So to get a really nice genetic kind of collection of different genetic traits that'll give us a stronger kind of resistance to disease and pest pressures and things like that. So that's why we want kind of a better biodiversity from our collection here. So I'm just kind of randomly picking through here, and so that's about what we'll take right there from that spot. But really in a normal kind of practice, we would want to take about 50% and then leave about 50% to reseed, so that we can kind of control the spread of the bee balm a little bit. It is one of those native plants that does spread pretty prolifically. So that is kind of just the basics, and what I would do after that, after I let them dry for storage, I would put them into my envelope here. I'd write down Wren Lake. Today's the 8th of October, so I'd write 10/8, Wren Lake, Monarda fistulosa. And that would be the basics there. Now, as far as what I'm going to do with these seeds, if I wanted to go ahead and plant them right away this fall in my pollinator garden at home or somewhere else, at my office, something like that, I could go ahead and do that by planting them into open bare soil and then kind of raking them in a little bit and covering them up with some mulch, and that way they'll overwinter. So a lot of native plants, a lot of prairie pollinator plants need a overwintering requirement or a chilling requirement. So we do that by stratification, and by putting them out in the landscape now, they'll overwinter, they'll stratify, they'll get through their chilling requirements, and a lot of them should come out and bloom in the spring. Thank you for joining us today and checking out this video. So here is my contact information if you have any questions or comments about the video today, and thank you.